Dragon's Breath Forge podcast. I almost got that wrong. I am your host, Coach Caboose. Today we got Matt,
Uh,
who finally fixed his camera,
I
at least
hope.
hopefully, and we got Dante.
Yo,
And today we're going to be talking about something I'm really passionate about, and that is movies. Um, Movies are my kind of like my bread and butter. If that's one thing I could do is I would learn how to make movies. I really love them. But today we're just going to talk about some things that we're looking forward to, movie wise, and then we're going to talk about our top 5 or top 10 favorite films. Well, let's just say top 10 for right now because we only have 3 people. Um, which my list is kind of weird. So, um, well, what we'll do is I think we'll talk about like our favorite films, and then we'll talk about like maybe like the top like not in every genre, but like we'll talk about like sci-fi, horror, all that kind of stuff. Um, so I think in news wise, um, they they actually cast Justice Smith and Michelle Rodriguez into the Dungeons and Dragons movie that's coming out.
I saw that.
How do you feel about that? You think they're good picks?
I'm liking the pick so far for Dungeons and Dragons. I can't talk either apparently today. Good to know you're not the only one, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Personally, I think it's a great pick. Michelle Rodriguez kicks ass. Justice Smith. The only thing I think I saw him in is um, Detective Pikachu, but he was really good in that. I was actually really happy with that film. So I'm
Yeah,
not
I was
too.
happy with him as far as a new actor.
Yeah. As far as someone who's like not really known, I think that's a good pick. I really wish that they would go ahead and cast Joe Manganiello because I know that he is such a D&D fan. Or
Down.
maybe yeah, him or Terry Crews or um Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's a huge D&D fan.
Yeah, that'll be pretty big.
Yeah,
Get Vin
if they
Diesel
if
in it.
they if they can get Michelle Rodriguez and Vin Diesel, it's just a family all over again, just different cast.
Yeah.
What
Who
would
do
be
you?
hysterical is the the actors and stuff like that that actually play if they were about to actually like go and say, "Hey, I want to be in this," I would have been like over the moon, like
I
down for them to join it.
who do you think who do you think they would be playing? Who do you think they're playing? Like um wise? Like they're
They
do you think
said the
they're
plot.
they said the no, I not that I saw.
Okay.
But of course that could we could see like I could see Chris Pine being a generic fighter, but I can't see I could see Justice Smith maybe being a wizard, like some sort of
Yeah, I
magic
was gonna
caster.
go probably wizard, or he's gonna end up being a very, very um mild mannered rogue.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if they were going to be putting like Dritz in it. Um, Dritz is
It's
overdone personally.
it's
I
definitely gonna have to be a hard press to say what they're gonna look for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think that I mean, I like the Dritz story. Dritz is cool, but I think he's overdone. I think that maybe if they were to do with like their own original story, like that would be interesting. But we also know that we also got a second trailer for Godzilla versus Kong. Nothing's really changed. Just maybe a little like spots here and there. I think that's going to be really good. I think that comes out um, March 21st or something like that.
Okay.
That I'm not
And
sure.
the
The one
most
I'm looking forward to is Mortal Kombat.
I was just about to talk about that too. Mortal Kombat looks
Yeah.
sick. I'm
Yeah.
so excited about that.
I was
Who
like,
who
yeah.
Who do you think who do you think is going to be? Well, we already saw Scorpion, Sub-Zero,
In
Jax,
Sub-Zero,
Sonya,
Mm-hmm.
you saw
Melina.
Raiden,
We saw Raiden,
Raiden, Liu
you
Kang,
saw Liu Kang.
Melina.
Kun Lao,
Yeah.
and my
They,
personal favorite, Goro. Oh yes, Goro is back, baby.
They showed Goro? I couldn't see
Yeah,
him.
they show Goro. They showed him for like 3 seconds where
yeah,
he's
Oh,
jumping up
three
in the
seconds.
air.
That's why I missed it. Because I
Yeah,
thought
they
it was
show.
yeah, he's just like a quick in and out.
a thing. I had to watch the trailer and pause it.
Um, what else
Might
did they
have to
show?
just like see about sharing that on the Facebook page. I'm pretty sure I'll probably find it again real soon online.
Yeah. Someone probably snapped it and posted it already.
Oh yeah,
I'm actually really interested. Another thing that I'm really interested in seeing is the new 007 film. Um,
yeah.
I forgot the name of it already.
I forgot the name too.
It's a good film. I like that whole series is fantastic, and I'm really sad because one of the stuntmen from the old Roger Moore movies, he passed away not
Oh,
too long
really?
ago. Yeah, he passed away. And actually something interesting I learned about 007 is believe it or not, Roald Dahl, the children's author, helped write some of the screenplays.
Really?
Yeah, the old like Sean Connery, and then he didn't do any of the Roger Moore films, but he did mostly the Sean Connery ones. I did not know that, and
Yeah.
that would explain so much about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The elevator scene. Oh, you're going up to the top floor of the chocolate factory, Mr. Bond.
Oh,
Small
No,
Easter egg.
yeah, small Easter egg. No, I'm just joking about that.
yeah.
James Bond has to go through a chocolate factory, and warning: the owner is trying to kill you.
Now, if you want to go for another fun fact on James Bond, remember when he first was seen coming out of the water?
Which one?
Um, God, I know how many times did he come out of the water? Um, what is it? The last
Which?
Bond. The last Bond we
Daniel
had.
Craig.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he was supposed to not actually step up out of the water. He was only supposed to have like just up to like here pop up
Mhm.
out of the water. But when he took his step up, he actually stepped up onto a sand barge.
Yeah,
So it
I
actually
saw
pulled
that.
him up above his waist because they wanted her to like her getting out like to be the full like ooh she's the sexiest person out there.
Yeah, she's the
But
Bondette.
instead he ended up becoming the sexiest thing out there. Bond. It's like oh my god. It's
Oops,
like
I stepped on a sandbar.
right, and it ended up getting so many people like turning their head like oh my god look at that they just turned around and they were like we're keeping it, we're done.
I That the last movie was actually not bad. I think that was what I think it was Skyfall, wasn't it? No, it wasn't Skyfall.
It wasn't Skyfall. It was gosh darn it. Not
Um,
Skyfall. It wasn't Casino Royale.
Casino Royale
And
was okay. No, it was Spectre. That's what it was.
Spectre. Okay.
Spectre. Skyfall
Okay.
was 3 years before that.
Yeah.
And this is actually No Time to Die is the new one.
Okay.
No Time to Die is Daniel Craig's last Bond film. Matt, you are frozen. Did we lose
Oh,
him?
maybe.
Maybe. I think we lost him, guys. Hold on.
Dang.
Let me text him. But he's definitely plugging that Critical Role merch
Yeah. Have we been following up on the episodes?
On Critical Role. I've never listened to a Critical Role podcast.
They're doing a. I was just following up on the. I just randomly it got part of my recommended
Oh, really?
on Twitch, and I was following up on their streams, and they're doing pretty good with their latest camp.
That's good.
Yeah, it's actually
I'm
pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I've been meaning to start. Yeah, we lost him. There
Yeah,
he goes.
he'll come back eventually.
Yeah, I asked him if he lost him, but he's probably just resetting everything. That's fine.
Okay.
But while he's gone, we'll talk a little bit more about just whatever we kind of want. We'll wait for him.
James Bond. Okay.
Yeah, James Bond.
Uh,
What's your favorite James Bond film?
I didn't really get into James Bond until I saw Casino Royale. I always thought James Bond was just like, eh, eh. It was like kind of a slow movie to me. I didn't really like watch it. That's because I was too young and impatient to watch the full thing, and I was like, what are they doing? They're just running everywhere. They're not doing anything. Can I just okay? I'm done. It's like no, watch it. It's good. It's like no, it's fine. But until I like actually had nothing else to do and watch Casino Royale, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And it makes me want to go back and watch the older ones.
Did you
So
did you watch all most of them? At least a couple of them?
not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my personal recommended Bond list.
Okay.
So if you watch them in order, there's gonna be 25 films, and I bet you don't have time for that. Um, always start with the six Sean Connery films. So Doctor No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and oh wait, no, he only did 5.
Okay.
No, he did 6, and Diamonds Are Forever. After
Okay.
that, he stopped.
Okay. So all Sean Connery, James Bond, got it.
All of Sean Connery. Do The Man with the Golden Gun.
Okay.
Live and Let Die. Actually, do Live and Let Die first. The Man with the Golden Gun. Moonraker. Octopussy. Excuse my language. And that's really it for the Roger Moore ones.
Uh-huh.
Then do Tomorrow Never Dies. The World Is Not Enough is actually not really good. Yeah, just do Tomorrow Never Dies. And then maybe Goldeneye. Don't forget Goldeneye. Goldeneye is always a really good one to watch.
Okay.
Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies, and then all of Daniel Craig's.
Okay.
So, personally, Sean Connery is the best one ever. He's the
Okay.
OG. Nothing's ever going to top Sean Connery.
Yeah.
My personal favorite one is actually Goldfinger. Goldfinger is just my favorite one to date. I think realistically they were working with a really small budget. Plus, it has a British guy trying to break into Fort Knox. I mean, literally. And he at one point he has James Bond tied up to a table with a laser beam that was cutting the table, going up towards Bond's crotch. And he says, and it gets super close, and he says, "Well, do you expect me to talk?" And the bad guy goes, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die." I'm like, it's a timeless classic.
Okay.
That one's pretty good. Actually, another funny story is there's a movie, not Roger Moore, Sean Connery. I forgot did one more after Roger Moore,
Mm-hmm.
and the title was Never Say Never Again. And there's a funny story about that one. Is after Sean Connery said that he was done playing 007, he was gonna do one more, and his
Okay.
wife said, "Well, you should never say never again," and that was the name of the film. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Um, there was one movie, I forget which one it was, where I think it was a Sean Connery film, and I think it was. I don't want to say it was Moonraker. It wasn't Octopussy. I think it was You Only Live Twice, where he was living in Japan for a while,
Uh-huh.
and at one point he was dressing up as a Japanese guy, and it was the most racially insensitive
Yeah.
um insensitive thing ever,
Okay.
because it made him look like they were trying to be a Japanese person.
Yeah.
And it was so racially insensitive. Don't get me wrong, the movie's good, but I don't like that scene personally.
Just that scene, just that one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good though. I mean, it was a good film. I think for the time, Bond was good. Now it's gotten a little bit more actiony when it was more about espionage, kind of
Right.
like Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible, the last one was fantastic. Fallout was fantastic.
Okay.
I did not like Mission Impossible. I think it was 3. I think that's the one where he got married and like the wife didn't know that he was a spy, and it was so stupid.
I haven't watched any of the Mission Impossibles, but I think I remember the start of that one movie. I'm like, you're like, okay, he's married. It's like they're having like a dinner party, and then he gets a call to do a job.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then just like the phone will blow up in 5 seconds, and
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually that's how it happens. I actually highly suggest the early Mission Impossible ones. So Mission Impossible 1, Mission Impossible 2, skip 3. 3 was stupid.
Okay.
I think they're up to 6 now. So 4, I think was. I forget what 4 was. I don't think I saw 4.
Okay.
5 was Ghost Protocol, and I think 6 was Fallout. I don't quote me on that, but I know that Fallout was really good. It made you really want to go back and watch um the last ones because it basically tied everything together.
Piles them all together.
Yeah, and they are making another one.
Yeah, I heard he's making another one, and I heard that like what was it? Tom Cruise couldn't consecutively make the next movie after the last one because of what was it?
The Mummy.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they should have stopped The Mummy and let him do the next Mission Impossible.
Yeah, they try to make a Universal Monsters universe. I'm like, what can they make with the Universal Monsters universe? There's not many Universal monsters.
actually, surprisingly, there is. Believe it
I
or
know
not.
there's like Wolfman, Dracula.
And they did Wolfman, and the last Wolfman movie with I think it was Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, I actually like it. I like
that one was really good.
Yeah,
actually, I
like
prefer that one than the classic.
Yeah, most people don't like that Wolfman. I was like, but no, you just have to. It puts you into the headset of this dude that just like
where he just got inherited the curse.
Yeah, and he's like struggling with it, and he's like, I don't want to kill anyone, but of course, yeah, you're going to.
Yeah, and it was violent, very violent.
Yeah,
and I think my personal favorite, and this is funny because I really love the classics, the original Universal monsters, and it was really interesting because I was reading Bram Stoker's Dracula, maybe about a year or so ago, or no, maybe it's a little longer, but you know how the average, if you're a vampire you can't go out into the sun.
Yeah,
well, that's not true for Dracula.
Okay, so he can daywalk.
Yeah, he can daywalk.
Okay.
He is not bound to the darkness like all the other, like his so-called children.
Yeah, all his progenies.
Yeah, his progeny, his vampire spawn.
Yeah.
They can't be. They can't go out into the daylight. But Dracula, nothing holds him back.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Actually, it was funny because I was reading or I was watching Epic Rap Battles, and they did a Vlad the Impaler versus Dracula rap battle. It was kind of funny because they talk about that specific subject.
Oh, interesting. Now, on the touch of Dracula, did you ever watch Dracula Untold?
The shitty one where it was Vlad the Impaler, and then he inherited the curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shitty.
Oh, what?
I hated it. I hated it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong. I think it has its perks.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a classic horror villain,
yeah, they kind of failed on that.
It failed it.
Okay.
Like it was.
I felt like what they were trying to do, they were trying to humanize Dracula.
Dracula Untold. We're talking about your camera's doing it again. You might not just need to.
I'm not worrying about the camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might just need to turn it back to thing. But
Yeah,
no,
I feel
I
like
get
they
that.
try to humanize Dracula, give him some sort of like, I inherited this curse because I love my wife and I want to save my people, and now he's like trapped in this in an eternity when he was just willing to die, but his servant brought him back, and he's like, that's the point of like the later movie of Dracula, where he's trying to actually find the reincarnation of his wife. But I don't know. I kind of felt more. It made me connect more to his plight, other than just like, I'm a vampire. I'm going to take this woman as my wife.
I think that now this is just because I have watched the old classic Draculas so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um I don't like how they tried to humanize him.
Okay.
I don't like the fact that they made him okay, Vlad the Impaler. Yeah, we know that he was based off of Dracula was based off of Vlad the
Yeah.
Pesh. Um but come on, they could have done a little bit better casting for him. They could have done a little bit better casting with everybody. Um, but you still cannot beat Bela Lugosi as Dracula. I mean,
Yeah.
when it comes to Dracula, the first image that you think of in your head is Bela Lugosi from the old classic Dracula.
You're right. You're right.
And actually, funny thing is when Bela Lugosi died, in his will they made him dress up as Dracula.
That's kind
Really.
of cool.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. I go to Universal Studios all the time, and they were talking about that in like a horror, like because Universal Studios actually started with the old classic horror monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, all that kind of stuff. And
Okay.
they were talking about how Bela Lugosi played almost all the classic um, Universal monsters except for
Mm-hmm.
the Invisible Man, um, which is actually funny because the Invisible Man, I believe, was played by the same person who plays Ducky in NCIS.
Huh.
Um, also, Bela Lugosi has a haunted mirror. Apparently, if you look at it, some things happen to you at the end. Like after you look at it, it's like cursed or something like that. It's actually
First
in
year.
Zach. Yeah. So the main person of Ghost Adventures has a paranormal museum, and it has it in there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Hmm.
Uh, um, but my personal favorite Universal horror movie is actually The Mummy. The old, not the
The ori-
old one, not the super old one with Bela Lugosi, but actually the Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. I love the Brendan Fraser mummy.
Yeah, the Brendan Fraser
I
Mummy series is great.
I wore out that VHS tape.
You had the VHS tape. I had the DVD.
Yeah.
I remember that. That
um,
was a good film. It's
uh,
actually on HBO now. HBO Max.
yeah. I just I just it's such a good blend of both comedy and just standard horror
And action too. It's got
and
action.
action, and it's just such a good ride from beginning to end. And do you like the second one? Did you like the sequels?
The second one I
Kind of like
liked.
them.
The second one I liked. The third one I thought was kind of silly.
Okay. Well, Dragon Emperor. Well, yeah, because
Yeah,
they replaced
Evie.
Evie. They kind of had to because she was already booked for another movie.
Yeah, which she should have stuck with Mummy personally.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, just drop that movie. Come over
Just
here.
drop that movie. Come over. Yeah, just drop it. Matt, what's your favorite original horror or not original but Universal monster movie?
Favorite monster movie?
Well, like the Universal, like Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy, Invisible Man.
Well, I'm an old school vampire fan.
Okay, so Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more partial to Wolfman.
Wolfman's good. I
So
see. I like all of them personally.
yeah.
But who can ever forget that Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein and the Wolfman? I mean,
Yeah.
those are really great. I love those. Um, so actually, I just thought of this. So did you guys see that they're making a reboot of The Exorcist?
That's
They are.
Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
That I'm actually was going to talk to Matt about that because I know that Liz cannot do horror films,
I
but
know.
I want to go see that, or if it's on HBO Max, we're we're gonna watch it because the original one was fantastic. It
Yeah.
scared the
Oh,
living crap out of me.
see, younger, I never got scared of horror movies. The only horror movie I got scared of when I was younger was probably Child's Play.
Chucky?
See, that never phased me.
And I think just because of that reason was the conveyor belt scene.
Oh yeah, that scared the crap out of me.
Yeah. That was the only reason why that scared me. Everything else was just fine with it. I just can't watch a conveyor belt.
I think the one movie that scared me the most, and Matt can attest to this, is it.
It
Yeah, I have really bad chlorophobia.
clowns.
Yes, I'm terrified of clowns. Um, a funny story about that is I went to Busch Gardens.
How do you hang out with me?
Well, you're not a clown. You're just silly. But I mean, if you're dressed up as like a full makeup, red nose, all the
You would
the
drop
works. Yeah, I would tell you to back up.
Okay.
But I was actually going through a haunted house in Busch Gardens, and they had a clown section. It's the house number was 13. Your number's up, I think it's called, and
Mhm.
it was for the 13th Halloween special.
Gotcha.
And I went with my friend Ryan, and I went first. And of course, it went through like the 13 most popular phobias. So there was
Mm.
arachnophobia, chlorophobia. There was fear of funeral homes, fear of being buried alive, all sorts of stuff. And one of them was
Course.
chlorophobia.
Right. Mhm.
And so I'm walking, and I'm going through like the regular phobia is fine. The arachnophobia scared me a little bit because I'm also afraid of spiders. I mean, who is it? They're like a weird thing.
They're not that bad. You just
Uh,
the problem is you don't know which one's a poisonous, so you just gotta kill it.
venomous poison.
Venomous.
You have to ingest
Okay.
poison. Um, so
I am not a fan of spiders. I will burn down a house to.
same,
God.
same.
I've lit my mailbox on fire. That's why I have a metal mailbox.
They're fine. I find a random spider in my bathroom every once in a while. I'm like, if you kill a mosquito, that's fine. But I don't know what you are, so I have to kill you.
Nope.
So we were walking, and then my friend Ryan was like, "I don't know what's up next." So I walked through it. The black
Mm-hmm.
things that hang down so you can't see anything, and I walked through it, and literally this clown honks his red nose. Thankfully there was no one in front of me. I bolt towards the end of the room, and I wait for my friend because I'm like, nope, I'm done. I hate clowns so much. And
That's funny.
Anything except for spiders.
realistically, I think what really did it for me was the old classic Tim Curry. Um, it
It's
is
the original one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
When the remake
That
came
got
out,
me.
go ahead.
Go for it.
yeah.
You're up.
No, go ahead.
Go, Dante.
Okay.
No, just go.
Um, I think once the remake of It came out, I watched the original It. So I'm like, okay, what is all this? Why are people freaking out by this? I know it's a clown. All I gotta do is beat it to death. It's fine. It's like, oh, it's not really a clown.
Yeah,
It's fear. Got it.
yeah. It's a alien.
Yeah.
Like the essence of fear.
Spoiler alert.
You're supposed to say that first.
Well, too bad. I still haven't seen the second part or chapter 2 of it. I heard it was good though.
It was good. I liked it. It was kind of teary eyed at the end.
Yeah, because I know that I've read the book. I actually have the book.
Mhm.
Thankfully they changed out a lot, and I mean a lot, from the original or the first, because the book is actually like 1,500 pages. So like 3/4 of it is actually talking about when they were kids, and thankfully they changed a lot of it because there's some things that were in the book that are not suitable for visual audience.
Mhm.
Like the one part they got book, like they were right from the book, is the beginning where Georgie gets his arm bitten off. Because that was actually not in the original. Um, it was not in the original It.
Really?
I think they showed it, but when Pennywise,
They showed Georgie without the arm, but
yeah,
just never showed it happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they and then when Pennywise actually came to drag him back, they never showed that in the original
Really?
one. Yeah, and
Huh.
that was actually in the book.
Okay.
There's actually and we'll discuss this off stream, but there was something in the book that I don't want to talk about because
Okay.
it's that bad.
Okay.
And then they changed. I think they changed away a little bit. Some things like what the kids were actually afraid of. I think just
Things
like
the kids were actually afraid of did change a little,
yeah.
but not terribly.
No,
But they
it
kept
wasn't
pretty
like
close.
it wasn't like, oh, this kid is afraid of this, and they totally messed it up.
Right.
Another thing I think that oh, let's talk with Matt about what he was going to talk about earlier. Go ahead, Matt.
Now, in terms of horror movies, scared me as a kid, and it's like you go back now and watch it, and you're like, how was I ever scared? The old school movie, Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam? Never heard of that.
Uncle Sam.
Right. Basically, it was Uncle Sam, U.S. Uncle Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha. He was killing people at a campsite. And the campgrounds that I lived at, went to every summer, looked identical to the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
We paid a kid $20 to look down the bathroom area to make sure he wasn't there, just so we can go to the bathroom. And each kid paid the kid $20.
Hey, that
That was
kid got
saying he
rich.
got rich.
That kid got
Yeah,
rich.
that kid made bank that summer.
So
But like now watching it now, it's like, how was I ever scared?
you guys do any of you know who John Carpenter is?
Yes.
So anybody who's watching the stream or is on YouTube right now, if you don't know who John Carpenter is the original man who or actually is the director of the original Halloween. And I bet you guys do not know how he got the idea for Halloween.
I would like to know. Tell me.
So Halloween is not the first slasher in horror history. It's actually the second.
Okay.
The one that really started it all is a little movie called Black Christmas. Yeah, they made a remake and it was complete crap. But John Carpenter went to the director of Black Christmas and he said, "Hey, can I use a holiday just like you did?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So he made Halloween, and Halloween was not just supposed to be about Michael Myers. They were talking about making another Halloween each year about a different subject. So yeah, the first two were about Michael Myers, but then the third one was called The Season of the Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, there was something wrong with like they put like microchips in the masks, and when somebody put it on, the mask kind of made them into the monster. And each year it was supposed to be something different. It was supposed to be an anthology, realistically.
Interesting.
But once once the third one came out, everybody hated it. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then they told John Carpenter, said, "Okay, well you better bring Michael back because everybody loved Michael." So that's when they decided to keep Michael Myers. And
God.
John Carpenter also worked on some of the best horror films of the
Yeah.
70s, of the late 60s, early 70s. You got Halloween, you got Thing, or The Thing.
Right.
He's got a couple other ones that he's done, and they made remakes. But
Yeah.
Halloween is his most popular.
They're doing a bunch of new remakes for horror movies.
Yeah,
John
unfortunately.
Yeah. I remember what John Carpenter movie I watched that I actually liked. See, I watched Halloween. I watched The Thing. And The Thing was always creeping me out. I'm like, so it becomes them. Are they really still them, or are they still not them?
No,
Don't understand.
they're not. And
Okay.
actually, in the original Thing, if you speak Norwegian,
Oh.
this is funny. If you speak Norwegian, you are spoiled. Because
Oh.
in the beginning of the film, when they're trying to shoot the dog, the people in the helicopter are screaming in Norwegian, "Don't let it touch you. It's not a dog,"
Oh. Gotcha.
which is weird, but it's still like that.
Yeah.
But the remake is not actually a true remake. It's actually a prequel. It's actually following the Norwegian camp about their experience with the Thing.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
It's an okay movie. I personally
Yeah,
prefer the
I
first one.
saw the original. I saw the remake, and I was like, eh. The remake had that weird thing where the creature kind of folded its face on the other dude, and
Yeah.
that's always like, yeah, to me every single time I watch it.
I think that the Thing is literally the best example of body horror
Yeah,
and in horror films. Like, don't get me wrong, other films got its thing, but um, the Thing was the best.
yeah. Like in the original, you see them on they have the dead guy's body on the table,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, when they're trying to shock them back to life.
shock them back, and then the head pops off and
No,
grows legs.
it wasn't that. No, it
It
wasn't
wasn't
that.
that.
No, when they he says clear and then he tries to shock him, the body opened
Oh
up and they
yeah,
had like
the body
teeth.
opens up, teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, that's interesting. It's like
So
did not
John
expect to mouth come out from there.
So John Carpenter, I just looked this up. His complete filmography. He did actually a lot of the Halloweens. I think he went up to Halloween from 1981. No, 1995. Yeah, so 1995, and then they brought him back for 2018. Which 2018 one, fantastic. It
Yeah,
was literally
yeah.
the best Halloween remake I've ever seen.
yeah.
I'm
He also,
sorry.
Are you excited for the next one?
oh yes, I'm super excited. You know that they're filming in North Carolina, right?
Really?
Yeah, they filmed in North Carolina. Jamie Lee Curtis was down in Wilmington.
Oh,
What's his name? We might have to see if I can get somebody I know that was there for some of the shooting to come on and talk with us for that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah.
He also was part of the Swamp Thing.
Oh,
Streaming.
that sounds
Yeah.
cool. I haven't seen Swamp Thing yet, but I really heard it was
The
really good.
the series that
Yeah.
got canceled and they got they
They got
rebooted it on.
saved. Yeah,
Yeah. Because that was shot right down here.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that the DC one was looking pretty good, and they canceled it, and then they brought it back on the CW,
mhm.
and now it's just like CW.
I'm sad because the Constantine series got canceled.
Oh yeah, they did have one too, didn't they?
Yeah,
They are looking at redoing Constantine.
yeah, they are thinking about bringing Keanu back.
Really?
Well, I thought he said he wanted to do it.
Yeah, he said he wanted to do it, and then they because rumor has it, I don't know if this is true. Don't quote me on this, but because of the way that the MCU is heading, and because what we know now from WandaVision, and we'll talk about this in a minute,
Mhm.
they're going to bring back Constantine and a whole bunch of other supernatural heroes.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this in a minute, but
Okay.
yeah. So Keanu said that he was gonna want to do another Constantine. Um, realistically, he should, because I thought it was actually a pretty decent movie considering.
It was a pretty good one. It had a little
It
bit
wasn't
of those
bad.
low points, but overall, it was pretty good.
There was another film. Actually, I just read this too. They already greenlit John Wick 5. So
Wow.
John Wick 4 is going to be shot this year, and then they're going to film John Wick 5 at the same time. So that's good. He said he's going to keep playing John Wick until fans don't want him anymore, which
I don't
it's
think anybody's
Keanu.
gonna.
It's
Probably.
Keanu.
It's Keanu.
It's Keanu. He's 55 and he's still kicking ass like that.
I know. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
he doesn't age.
No, and he looks really good for his age too.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the WandaVision thing. We'll talk about this real quick because so we're going to announce a spoiler alert.
Yes.
If
I'm
you
gonna
do,
state I have not seen it, but I don't. I'm right there with you. I know. I
Spoil-
failed it. My duty of not doing this.
spoiler alert for anyone who's not seen this.
Please.
Please mute your television, and I'll wave right now until right now.
Yes.
When you can.
It's
unmute.
too good. It's
All
too
right,
good.
so
to be spoiled.
we're gonna talk about this. Okay, so WandaVision, episode 6 aired last week, and the bad guy has been confirmed as Agatha Harkness.
Okay.
If you oh, excuse me, if you have realized that name sounds really familiar, it is a person in history. Agatha Harkness was actually considered one of the first original Salem witches. And they brought her back into Marvel to be the. Now, realistically, in Marvel, Scarlet Witch's mentor is actually Agatha Harkness.
Right.
So she learned how to control her powers by Agatha.
Right.
Now, with the revelation that she's actually the bad guy, who is Pietro?
I understand.
There's
Well, yeah.
theories. There's theories that say that he's actually Mephisto.
They saying he's Mephisto?
They think that he's Mephisto.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't think he's Mephisto because in the scene where they showed her and in her little reel, Agatha is behind it all. They see her. You see her conjuring Pietro in front of Wanda. So
that's true.
I don't know if he's actually Mephisto. I feel like it's either Mephisto's not there yet, but we have seen that in the scene where she went down when Wanda went down in the basement. You see a book glowing red, which we probably think is the Darkhold, which in Marvel Comics is one of the most infamous of grimoires for demonic and evil spells. So there's I don't know if Mephisto is there, but he has a presence. Maybe through the Darkhold he'll appear.
Looking at
Or if he's already there, I feel like it's Dottie.
I think that Mephisto, his presence is actually known. I think that what the most prevalent thing that he's shown is the kids.
Yeah.
I think we're just creating
I think that the kids are actually spawn of Mephisto and it's actually really funny is because if you remember in the Halloween episode, Pietro says, "Go forth, demon spawn."
Yeah.
I think that was supposed to be
Gotcha.
a callback
A
to
call
Mephisto,
to.
but
Mhm.
it could also be like a little Halloween, like he's trying to be silly around Halloween. But
Right.
I actually think it's a callback to Mephisto.
Yeah. Which
And
makes.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Which makes me kind of sad because I like those the characters, Billy and Tommy. I like them playing them, and knowing how the comic's gonna go with the kids being spawns in Mephisto. I know where they're gonna end up, and that just makes me sad. I'm
I
like,
I think that what would be really funny is it would be interesting to
mhm.
see one of the X-Men come in and try to save the day,
Okay,
because particularly one person, Magneto,
okay,
and what would happen if something goes wrong, and the reason why there's no X-Men in MCU unless they
it's
decide to,
just
is
go
because of this.
full blown
Uh,
House of M, just right
yeah,
there.
House of M. Yeah, or it could be the reverse House of M. We don't know,
Where she
where she
spawns
brings
me.
them back. Yeah,
Yeah, because you saw Monica get her powers trying to
yeah,
get Hess. So what you could be saying about she does reverse House of M, and she just brings people with powers into existence by trying to tear down her own hex, and it just kind of just breaks reality from there.
Now, maybe I'm not well versed into the comics, especially the newer ones. But
Hmm.
what the scene where Monica goes back through the hex to try to
Hmm.
get to Scarlet Witch is, and then she learns that she gets powers. What is that
Yeah.
supposed to represent?
Her Monica in the comics, I forgot how she got her powers in the comics, but she's in a comic. She's actually her hero name is Photon,
Okay.
and actually her powers are basically closer, actually the same as Carol's.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Gotcha. So
so basically
she's like Captain Marvel.
she's like Captain Marvel,
Okay.
just for she doesn't go off into space. She just stays around here.
Okay.
So if she
That's
has
cool.
the same powers as Carol in WandaVision, then that's big.
Hmm.
Or she might have they might give her unique powers because of the hex, but she's still
Yeah.
just as strong.
And I also want to talk about this and this is completely true, because Scarlet Witch is the most powerful hero in Marvel. Most
Hmm.
people don't recognize that.
Yeah.
And it's because and this is even actually shown or talked about in the show when they were talking about, oh well, Thanos did all of this, and
Right.
we relied on Captain Marvel to kick his butt.
Right.
Realistically, Scarlet Witch could have killed him by
She could have
herself.
easily killed him by herself.
Yeah, and there's only
Yeah.
like 4 heroes who can do that in the MCU:
Yeah.
Scarlet
And
Witch, um, Captain Marvel.
mhm.
Who else? I know one of them is Squirrel Girl.
uh,
And that's really funny, Squirrel Girl.
weren't they gonna make a show of her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was hysterical that they were getting ready to make that show, and then now we have this. What is it? That new one where it's
Yeah, it should be.
some girl's name and
Moon Knight.
or something like that.
Moon Knight and She-Hulk are coming.
Moon Knight, yeah,
Yeah.
Moon Knight and She-Hulk.
Oh,
But
by the way, anybody who's watching, I'm yeah, you can
Good
come
to
back
go.
now. Yeah,
you're good.
you can come back now.
Like,
Okay,
come
cool.
on back.
I don't know though. Yeah,
I think if we're really thinking about it, maybe Benjamin Richards. Maybe Benjamin Richards could take
Ben
Thanos
Richards.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
he has Galactus as his herald. Dude's powerful.
Yeah.
An Omega level mutant can literally has Galactus as his hero or herald.
Yeah.
And then maybe some of the Eternals can help
Yeah.
fight Thanos, but
You know,
realistically Thanos is the Eternals kid.
yeah, it's real funny. Ben
Ben Richards.
his power is just like, I can just create alternate realities, like just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually really interested, and the way that the MCU is going, we've already been we've always already have confirmed that there is going to be another Blade film, that there's
Yes.
going to be another the Ghost Rider film. I think is going to be coming. The supernatural heroes are coming back.
Yeah, they're coming back. They're doing. They're doing the Falcon and Winter Soldier new series. They're doing Miss Marvel with Kamala Khan.
Yeah, which awesome.
They're doing
Loki.
the Loki, Black Widow prequel, which will probably show us if Black Widow's name's inherited by her
It's
sister.
actually not a prequel.
It's not a prequel?
No, it's actually canonically it's actually set in like 2018.
Okay.
So this is like what happened in between Infinity War and Endgame.
Gotcha.
Because I think in Infinity War, no, it was before Infinity War, because her hair was still red at the end of.
So it's between Ultron and Infinity War.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Canonically speaking.
Yeah, and then we'll see if we're going to see another Black Widow just with the other girl, her sister.
Well, that is if what we think happens.
Yeah, that's the running theory right now. But new Thor, which I'm excited about because they're going to bring out female Thor.
Yeah.
And
still sad we haven't seen Beta Ray Bill though.
I
like Beta Ray Bill. He's cool.
I always want to talk about what's his name? Crud. The dude on the motorcycle, not Ghost Rider. Starts with a B. He could take on Superman.
Lobo?
Yeah.
Lobo's DC.
Wasn't there talk of? No, but there was talk about that coming out.
They talked about it, but then the CW canceled it.
Oh, he was supposed to be a series?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a series, and then they canceled it.
Gotcha.
Lobo is DC though.
Yeah,
I don't like Lobo.
Still, that would have been fun to watch.
He might show up in the Justice League film that's coming out.
Snyder Cut.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I feel like DC's trying to catch up, trying to get their feet on the ground, but Marvel's way too far ahead at this point.
Yeah, that's what it is. The only really good DC film that I actually really enjoyed was actually Aquaman, which is sad.
No, everyone rags on Aquaman, but I don't understand why.
I like Aquaman. He's cool. He could talk to animals.
Yeah,
he could talk to fish.
He could talk to realistically, come on.
80% of this earth is water.
80% of 70% of this earth is water.
Yeah.
he could end the world if he wanted to. And plus he has the most badass arcs. Like he had his hand bitten off by piranhas, and then he fed the person that made him do that to the piranhas that ate his own hand. And I just want them to fire Amber Heard at the end for this next Aquaman, and I'll be happy. Fire her. Like I'm team fire Amber Heard. Fire her.
Why?
Because she accused Johnny Depp of harassment and assault, domestic assault, when there was no assault that took place by him, but it was she assaulted him and then blamed him for it. So not only did Johnny Depp lose his Grindelwald role, he lost his Pirates of the Caribbean role. He lost a bunch of other roles because of this entire debacle.
Wow.
So
wow.
But she still gets the roles. She destroyed Johnny Depp, one of the best actors I think that has ever graced the silver screen.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still in roles, which pisses me off.
Mm.
So it's okay. It's okay for women to assault men, but it's not okay for men to assault women. And But when
No, he's being sarcastic. Assault is just wrong.
assault is wrong completely. If you touch anybody violently, you are less of a human being.
Assault is assault. It is not appropriate.
No, we don't think personally. No, you don't do that. Treat everybody how you want to be treated. That's how I always lived. Tip for the day.
Yeah.
Golden rule.
Yeah.
Golden rule.
I'm trying to think. What other?
All right, so let's talk about our favorite movies personally.
Okay.
All right, top 5, top 5, top 10.
That's hard.
I know Mike's number one.
What is it?
Alien.
No, it's not Alien.
What?
It's not
Not Alien anymore.
No, it is a sci-fi film, but it's not Alien.
Well, I'm going with that whole series.
Okay, then yeah, you're right. It's Aliens. Second one.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's the second one.
Sorry, I'm going with the series.
Okay, so I'm going to.
This is the man that can't live without it.
I'll go, then Dante goes, then Matt goes, and we'll talk
Okay.
about why it's our favorite film. So that's why.
But the challenge is going to be, we're going to see if you can name the person's top movie picks.
Yeah, but I don't know Dante like that.
I'm not even going to think I could do that.
I don't know Dante.
I don't
like
even
that.
think I could do that.
Yeah, I never talk about my movies.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you why Aliens is my favorite. My favorite film. Aliens is one of those films where you can realistically quote Bill Paxton. It's game over, man. It's game over. I mean, I originally watched it when I was 10. Thought it was really cool. I liked the creature design by the creature design was really cool. The sci-fi aspect was really cool. The pulse rifles sounded really awesome. I like how it had cyborgs in it. I like how it actually featured a female action lead as a hero. You didn't see that back then. I'm gonna guarantee this is the reason why we have action movies filmed the way they are is because of Aliens. James Cameron did the directing of it. Alien was good. Don't get me wrong. Alien was good. Aliens was just a little tad bit better. It kind of simulated the Vietnam War at the time because that was what was going on for social wise. You could kind of see it with the armor that had the camouflage on it. The missiles for the gunship had like writing on it, which is something that they popularized during World War II and then Vietnam. I just really like it personally. It's one of the best films that's ever been made, and it will always be one of my favorite films. For Dante's favorite film, I think it's probably. Is it sci-fi?
Is it sci-fi? No.
Fantasy.
Yes.
Hobbit?
No.
The Hobbit film? Lord of the Rings? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. All right, Dante, what's your favorite film?
My favorite film?
Yeah.
Oh. My favorite film is
A little bit because I'm behind. But I have
Legend.
Legend.
Mm-hmm. It's a really old movie.
Really? I would have not taken that as your top pick.
I love Legend because that was the first movie that got me into fantasy.
Okay.
Without Legend, I would not be into fantasy at the moment. So I consider that.
And he's probably looking up what Legend is.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Please describe Legend for Mike.
Legend stars actually. I think Tom Cruise was in it. Yeah.
Yeah, old Tom Cruise. It was a Ridley Scott film, which is funny because he did Alien.
Yeah.
He did Alien and then he did Legend,
Wow, really?
which
Yeah,
that's a
Tom-
completely different thing.
Completely different switch. Yeah. Yeah, Tom
It's only got
Cruise.
it's only got a 38 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I watched it when I think I was still in second grade, and I watched it, and I was like, it's like, no, not the unicorn. And then what's the dude's name? I always have to look his name up because I always forget it.
Like this.
Uh,
Oh no, he did Alien in 1979, and then Legend in 1985. Excuse me, and there was one other film that is actually on my top 10 list.
mm,
That he did in between that. So I apologize. Go ahead.
yeah, Tim Curry
Oh,
played
okay.
the
Yeah.
villain, the Darkness, and if you see the full get up of him in the Darkness, you'd be like, what? The whole premise of that movie was the stability of the land they were on was kept in check by two unicorns living in the forest,
Okay.
and their preservation was paramount. That they were protected by all the fairies and fairy creatures in that forest. And Tom Cruise was a child that was left in the forest to die, taken in by the fairies and raised as their own. Of course, he grows up, falls in love with a village girl that comes wandering in. If you know legends about unicorns, they'll only approach a person that's pure of heart, and it's usually a virgin female.
Interesting.
So the girl gets close to a unicorn. The darkness learns of this, uses the girl to get close to the unicorn, and breaks off the horn. So when you break off a unicorn's horn, they're usually close to death. So when you break off, so in Legend, they break off the unicorn's horn, one of the two, and the whole entire land falls in eternal winter and is almost close to just blowing up. And Tom Cruise is charged by his friends to go to the darkness's lair to bring back the unicorn horn, which the darkness wants to use to kill the last unicorn to free his father, which is basically the source of all evil, to take over the world, of course. And on the side, he was like, I also want to save this girl because she got kidnapped.
Interesting.
So the story is like pretty cheesy, but it just always stuck with me.
Hmm.
And it brought me into the fantasy world from then on.
All right. So
So
what's Matt's favorite film? Do you think?
Matt's favorite film?
Yeah.
Uh,
Believe it or not, I don't even know.
I don't even know. I don't know.
Try to get. Let's try to guess the genre.
All right, let's go with what film do you think I've seen the most times?
You don't even talk about your films that much, though.
Have I seen it with you?
Yes.
God damn it. Is it a Studio Ghibli film?
No.
No.
Is it anime in general?
No.
Okay, so it's not
Okay, so
anime.
yeah, that takes out a lot of things I was thinking of.
Yeah.
It's
not
live.
anime. It's a live action. Okay.
Right. And it is fantasy. Well, it's not fantasy, but it is not technically real.
It's fiction.
It's fiction.
Live action fiction. Is it action adventure?
Yeah.
Is it
With romance, comedy, and also one of the greatest stories ever told.
The Princess Bride?
There we go.
I actually just watched that on Valentine's Day. I have never seen that movie before.
Really?
It was really
Yes,
it was actually pretty good.
You've watched parts of it with me. I know
No,
that.
I never have.
Yeah, we have.
No, we haven't.
Question: Did you copy and
The first time I watched Princess Bride was actually in high school class, where our teacher brought it in for one of our free days, and she was like, "Watch Princess Bride." I'm like, "I have no idea what that is," and I watched it. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is great."
I finally got to actually sit down and watch it. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I now get the memes, the 6-fingered man,
Mm-hmm.
the whole Inigo Montoya
I knew.
thing.
He could like,
It was really interesting to see Andre the Giant. Actually,
yeah.
like,
Was that
yeah.
one of the first ones that an actual wrestler was like starring in the movie?
Yeah, actually, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's huge. He's a huge guy.
Yeah, he's. I always like the little gif they show that of the reporter doing an interview with him, and they compare his hand to the dude. He was
Yeah.
like saying that he takes his ass. I was like, yeah, that's what I expect.
The sad thing is, they had to actually. I've seen that movie well over 1,000 times.
Mhm.
2, it is the closest to the actual book any movie has ever been.
That's what my teacher said too.
I highly debate that.
Why do you say that?
Because I have not actually read the book, but 2, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is very close to the source material. Very, very
How many
close to the
things have
source material.
changed?
There are
in that?
there are a few things, but not as much as you think.
If it's less than 2, you win.
Yeah, it is actually less than 2. The only thing is one thing during the ball, I believe, and one other person that they actually talked to. But I could be wrong about that, but they are very close to the source material. It's
Because
actually the closest to the book.
the author of the book is the same person that directed the movie. And the only things he changed was literally, instead of the screeching eels, it is sharks.
Okay.
And the entrance to the dungeon,
The dungeon, yeah.
right? It actually was a longer trek for them through a actual like zoo, but that was not there. Instead, they just did the tree. Those are the only 2 things that have actually been changed in that movie.
I also want to know. I also want to know how the hell they got those horses up the Cliffs of Madness. How did they get those horses up there? Because we see the Man in Black climb up to go fight Inigo, and then like right after he leaves to go fight Andre the Giant, the horses are up the mountain, the cliffs of Madness. How did they get up there so fast? I want to know that. I actually want to know. I actually told I told Tuesday that. I
So
said
what they actually have is if you kept going down, there's actually a port that they were supposed to have gone and docked at.
Okay, yeah.
And they were meant to actually dock there, but the only reason they docked at the cliff was because they were being followed.
Yeah, he was following them. All right,
so but every one of the bed scenes, everything like that was actually inside the book. So every single part of that movie, except for 2 actual changes, have been in that book.
No, that's true. Same thing with.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. All right. So
that's why I said it's got to be one of those.
What's my number 2?
Your number 2? I'm gonna have to say Lord of the Rings series.
No. I can guarantee that.
Well, no, sorry. That is actually my bad. I should have said Halloween series.
Nope.
No. Okay.
What do you think?
What's the genre?
It is crime. It's like a crime drama.
Okay. Any ideas?
Say what?
I was asking Dante if he had any ideas.
Oh.
Is it Deadpool?
I said a crime drama, not an action film.
Crime drama. Ugh.
I'll give you a year. Let me make sure this is accurate, though.
I have no idea.
So my number 2 is The Godfather.
Okay.
Francis Ford Coppola did a fantastic job of adapting the 1969 novel The Godfather. It stars hold on, Marlon Brando as a Don. It's a fantastic film. Personally, it has a lot of symbolism to it, and that's actually something I really look for in movies. One of the most famous symbolisms, actually, in mostly in cinema, is the fish. They get mailed a fish. The Corleone family gets sent a fish, and that's that means that somebody is sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah.
That's actually a mafia thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's a complete mafia thing. Back in the early days of the mafiosos.
Yeah.
That was something. Also, something really interesting. The use of oranges in the movie. If you see that a character, a named character, is holding an orange, this is most prevalent in the first one. If you see that somebody is holding an orange, that means they are going to die, and that is something that was adapted by Italian tradition.
Really?
Oranges were not prevalent in Italy. They were only prevalent after World War II when soldiers brought them back or brought them to Italy during the Second World War. It was a complete foreign fruit, and it was really expensive in Italy, and it would only be something that you would have maybe once in a lifetime. Another thing is just like the movie The Departed, you can usually tell if somebody is going to die by that symbolism. It is one of the greatest films and one of the most influential films of all cinema history.
Yeah.
The horse in the bed. That's, everybody knows that scene. The leave the gun, take the cannoli is one of the most commonly used phrases that you see people use if they're talking about
They're
like that movie.
delicious.
Yeah, I mean they are really good.
Yeah. It's funny though. I recently did watch the whole thing of sat down and watched the whole thing of the Godfather when it was on Marathon. I'm like,
Yeah.
see if I can watch this.
You should actually read the book. It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
Also, if you ever seen the movie Goodfellas, it's very heavily influenced by that film. So is the movie or the TV series on HBO, The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Which I have never seen, but I heard it was good.
Really
I
good.
was very young when that show started.
Let's do at least one more.
I want to say that it was one of Al Pacino's most breakout roles. So was James Caan. Most of the films had actors that we know today. James Caan, we know most notably for The Godfather and his work on Elf, ironically. And Al Pacino is Scarface. He's Michael Corleone and The Godfather. And then he's in a few other films too, obviously. But he's most notable for mostly for Scarface.
Right.
But he was in that film.
Are you ready for another fun fact with that?
What's that?
The bodyguard that was for The Godfather,
Mm-hmm.
how he was actually shaking when first meeting him or around him,
Mm-hmm.
the actual Godfather, was actually true nerves, like him actually being completely nervous around him. He was meant to actually be able to stand around him, but because he was actually so nervous about meeting one of his favorite actors, he couldn't stop himself from shaking. And it worked so well from having that they left it in the film to show
Interesting.
that somebody smaller had so much power over somebody that was so much larger than him in real life.
That's really interesting.
And they were like, that was the best symbolism ever.
Also something interesting. I just saw this. And near the start of filming, Michael Corleone had yet to be cast. So they didn't have Al Pacino. They actually wanted to go with Dustin Hoffman, Martin Sheen, or James Caan.
Huh.
They thought that Al Pacino was too short, which is funny.
Wow.
It's a little funny.
Yeah, so that's my number 2. I'm gonna guess Dante's number 3 is, or not. No, excuse me, number 2. Is it sci-fi? Please tell me it's sci-fi.
Is half sci-fi, half thriller, I guess? Thriller? 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 Is it considered thriller? No, go half sci-fi, half suspense. There we go. That sounds better.
Ooh, is it The Invisible Man?
No.
That was a good one. Not the old one, but the new one.
I feel that the whole like, oh, I wore an outfit, which don't get me wrong, it is bringing you into the new modern age, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. Sci-fi thriller though, that's something I actually haven't. Is it Ex Machina?
No.
That was a good film too. Oh, I don't know a sci-fi thriller.
Sci-fi.
Maybe I do, and I just don't classify that in my head.
The problem with me is, you'll learn. Everyone learns that my favorite movies are usually lesser known cult films.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
is it something that we probably would have heard of?
Probably would have heard of, but probably never watched.
Is it older?
It's older, yes, and I would say they actually did a remake recently of it.
It's not RoboCop. I mean, if it is RoboCop, then you have really bad taste of like reboots because this.
I haven't even watched it yet.
But now that
Could be your whole past. Sorry.
But now that Dante has that studio, it's or not Dante. Disney has that studio. We might actually get a decent RoboCop.
Yeah.
Remake.
Okay. So we just tell you.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Stephen King's The Stand.
The Stand? Really?
Yes.
Why?
I love that movie.
It's horrible.
My mom got me into that movie, and she was like, "Watch this movie with me."
The remake is even crappy.
It's just.
I can't say that because I actually do like a lot of Stephen King films.
I watched that
personally,
movie.
I just don't like it.
It's just the whole premise. Like, my mom was like, she's all into apocalypse movies.
Okay,
that was all she was into. So she had me watch The Stand with her when it came back on TV, and I watched it, and I'm like, wow, this is actually really good. And I keep watching it every time it comes back on. It's just a really good movie with, I think, a decent premise between good and evil.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's not a prevailing force of good and not a prevailing force of evil. It's just people doing good and evil things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the premise of this world today. It's not a prevailing force of good and evil. It's people acting good and acting evil, and that directs that force.
There you go. Okay, I can see it. I personally I've read the book. I've watched the film. I'm sorry, but something is wrong with Stephen King's It's
Typewriter.
no, it's not the author's fault, because usually the
It's all the
director kind of
typewriter's
has,
fault.
yeah, it's mostly the director and the scriptwriter's fault, because they're adapting to a book that people know exactly what's going to happen and they want to change it up. Now
Mhm.
the only film I think that did do that was actually really good was the reboot of The Mist.
The Mist.
Yeah, The Mist.
Okay.
If you have you seen the new one, the newer one,
Yeah, I've seen the newer one where they're in the
the
shopping.
grocery store? Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you seen that, Matt?
like
Um,
I've basically seen almost all of Stephen King movies.
yeah. So anybody who's watching, if you have read the Mist, it does not end like the newer one does. It actually ends a completely different way. But
Really, I hated
yeah,
that ending.
you didn't like the one that was in the film?
I I was like, if you just waited 2 more minutes.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I completely agree with what they said about this. Stephen King actually, the script writer himself actually sent Stephen King a copy of the script,
Mm.
and he asked him specifically if changing the ending was okay. And Stephen King wrote it, and he says that's better than what I would have written.
Really?
Yeah. Um, it's a completely good twist right at the end. Completely good twist.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe if the directors and everything can kind of get on the same page, maybe they can do their own Stephen King universe like they were really wanting to with the black or the Tower,
Mm.
or whatever, the Gunslinger series.
Yeah, the
Um,
Mortal Instruments.
no, it's not
What,
Mortal Instruments.
not
It's the
Mortal
Dark
Instruments.
Tower.
Dark Tower.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
what it's called the Dark Tower, aka the Gunslinger series, because the Gunslinger
Okay.
series is right now on like 18 books and they're complete
Oh,
crap. Yeah,
really?
they're complete crap.
Okay.
I've read like 2 of them and I was like, I'm done. I can't read any more of this. I can't read any more of this. But yeah, that's actually not something I would have thought people would actually put under like top 10. Um, Personally, I think it's like somewhere in the 20s for me.
Yeah,
But I haven't watched the new series. I heard it was okay.
I haven't seen it either because it's and behind a paywall and don't want to dole
Yeah, I
out
don't
more
want to do
money.
that. All right, so what's Matt's number 2? Let's see.
Here, we're gonna go with it's a horror series.
Okay, horror series. Have we talked about it?
No, unless it was while I was dealing with technical issues.
Probably not, because we only talked about Universal stuff.
Yeah,
It's not
horror.
Jaws.
No,
Is it paranormal? Because there's a lot of like horror movie
slasher,
genres. There's what?
slasher.
Slasher horror. Okay.
Slasher. Okay, it's not Halloween. Is it Friday the 13th?
Nope,
Mm,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
no.
Okay. Is it Black
It
Christmas?
no. It actually is really underrated nowadays, which is really sad. But it's been remade so many times.
Remade so many times. I don't know. I
There's 6 movies,
6
a
movies,
TV show,
TV show.
and it's been remade. I want to say twice now.
6
Not
movies.
6 movies. I don't know any slasher films besides Halloween
Oh,
and
TV show.
Well, you catch a reference without it. Well, the only reference would be like giving it away.
oh, just tell us.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Scream? They're coming. They're
Yeah,
rebooting. They're rebooting that.
I
I
know. I
didn't.
can't wait.
I didn't even know it had 6 films.
Yeah.
I kind of just fell off after the first one. I'm like, oh.
I have to admit that's actually one of the better slasher films because of Matthew Lillard.
It's so underrated.
It's good. I actually really like that film. It's not
It's
my.
so
It's like my.
underrated, though.
It's not my favorite slasher film, but I
Right?
like that
It's
one.
like not the all-time best, but it's still one of those series that's like I could sit there and watch it.
I like the scene where they reveal who the killers are, and they're talking, and like Matthew Lillard is like crying on the stairs or something like that, and the other guy throws like a radio at Matthew Lillard, and while he's crying, he says that he's like, that really hurt. That wasn't that wasn't staged, or that wasn't in the script at all. That was completely improvised. It's really good. I actually really like that film, and they threw you for a twist of Drew Barrymore being in the beginning of it, and then she dies in like the first like 20 minutes of the film.
Or even on half of the bigwigs that they put into them,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, they're gone." It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you thought they would have lasted. But then on top of it, you're like, oh man, where they even did one like entire one where it was like, oh, we're gonna break it down and say, oh, here's a look at all of the things to look at if you're in a horror movie.
Yeah.
How's
Like
your
it.
self service?
Yeah.
How is this?
It
And
tells
it's
you
like,
all the faults of a horror film.
and then it's like, and then in one of theirs, they're like, every single one of them, they're fucking doing, they're like, what did we just go over?
Yeah.
Don't go upstairs. Everybody's running upstairs. It's like, why? Don't split up.
Yeah. Don't split the party. All right, Matt. What's my number 3? I can guarantee you guys won't get this one. I can guarantee it. You guys won't get this one.
Is it Bambi?
No. Bambi
No.
made me cry though. I don't like that.
But Bambi's delicious. Maybe.
I mean,
Sorry. What?
what?
Oh, sorry. No, I have one of my earpieces off and I heard the wife talking.
Yeah, you guys won't get this one.
What's your topic? What's the genre?
It is historical drama.
Historical drama.
Historical drama.
The Patriot.
That one's good, but no.
Okay.
I actually and there's only like maybe one reason why I don't like that, and that's actually because it's not historically accurate.
Okay.
Last of the Mohicans.
No, that one's good too, though.
Dancing with Wolves.
No, I will not watch that film again.
Why?
It's too long.
I know people that were in it.
Oh, I mean that's fine. It's just too long.
How long is Dancing with Wolves? I never actually watched it.
It had 2 VHS tapes, just like the Titanic.
Oh, so about 3 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. I never really got into westerns, so
Yeah, I don't like westerns either, except for maybe one, and that was a newer one.
I just don't like westerns, period. I just can't do it. It just seems so boring to me. But anyway, historical drama.
Historical drama.
I got nothing.
You're close to the date, but no.
With
With Pearl Harbor, you're close to the date, but it's not Pearl Harbor.
So it's around that era of
It's
Pearl Harbor.
It's around World War II. Yeah.
Around World War II. Isn't it a good movie?
Valkyrie.
No, that was a good film too, but no.
I'm not well versed in historical drama, so
yeah, you know me and history don't get along.
Yeah. So my number 3, and this is a complete surprise to a lot of people, is actually Schindler's List.
I watched that movie actually.
It is very eye-opening.
It is.
I think that if a lot of people watched it, they wouldn't joke about what those people went through. I remember watching it for the first time when I was 11, I think, because I was doing a research project on World War II, and my family is actually from Poland, so we have been affected by that particular subject, the Holocaust. And I remember watching it with thinking that it wasn't like as bad as everybody said it was, but then when you watch it, you're like, oh, it's worse.
Yeah, it Yeah.
Especially when you're young.
Mm.
It made me really appreciate the efforts that we tried to rush
Mhm.
to get to the camps and free to help free those, but they tried to warn us and we didn't listen.
What'd you think of Anne Frank?
Like the last thing that
Well, see, Anne Frank was different.
no,
Schindler was, in all
Yeah.
intensive purposes, he was a Nazi.
Right.
But he used his factory to make a haven for the minorities, the Jewish people, and he bought them to free them. Anne Frank hid, and when she was caught, she was taken to Auschwitz-Birkenau and into Bergen-Belsen, and she starved and eventually got sick and died. And
what?
the whole process is they don't tell you exactly what happened to her because we don't know what happened to her.
Right.
But
Right.
the whole thing with
I hate that for you.
Schindler's List is they tell you exactly what happened. They tell you they show the people thinking that they're going to get a shower, and in that surprise it was a shower, but realistically it was gas chambers.
Mhm.
There were things that were so horrible that they didn't want to put it in there.
Right.
And for a Steven Spielberg film, because he did one other film that was like, I think it was Jurassic Park, same year. So you had kind of like a sci-fi action adventure thriller
Yeah.
mixed with a historical drama in the same year. It's completely heartbreaking, like, to see that change. But I remember hearing that Robin Williams called him every day to tell him a joke to keep his spirits up because it was that hard to make. And he did a good job casting Oscar Schindler with Liam Neeson. And the symbolism behind the girl with the red coat. It just breaks your heart thinking about it, and just thinking about it right now is heartbreaking because I remember watching that, and that's like maybe one film where you watch like maybe once or twice, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I had to watch it. Well, I watched it in a freshman year of high school for English study when we studied the Holocaust, and yeah, it's a hard movie. Basically, like almost half our class was in tears after that.
It's and then when you watch it, you wonder how are there people who keep denying this. Like,
Yeah.
we have museums, we have the fossils of the camps.
the remains of people. Yeah.
You have the remains, you have the objects of the people who were killed,
And I'm like,
and yet you say that it didn't happen. It's completely unbelievable.
really don't.
Let's change the subject. It's
Yeah,
getting a little
let's-
downer.
Yeah.
All right, let's hope
so
that Dante's
Dante,
next pick is a little bit more upbeat.
Okay.
I don't either. Like,
What's your
Is it-
genre?
Is it a comedy?
I would say it's a comedy. Most of these
Ooh.
movies, they're from my childhood, so yeah, it's a comedy.
Is it a Robin Williams comedy?
No.
Oh,
Well, it's not live action. This one's actually animated.
okay, so it's animated. Is it a Disney film?
No, it's not.
Is it Pixar? Oh no, Pixar would be Disney. Is it
There's
DreamWorks?
a couple in there, so my friend.
Wait, hold on.
DreamWorks.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not. Okay. Then I don't know. You
Wall-E.
got any
Well,
guesses? Matt?
hold on. Let me see. It like recently it got picked up by Disney, and you can watch it.
The
on
reason
Disney
I'm
Plus.
taking it is because
Okay, so it's not a TV series. It's an actual movie, right?
It's an actual movie. Yes.
Okay, so it recently got picked up by Disney, and you can watch it
Yeah.
on Disney Plus.
Yes. and it's an older movie, in late 90s.
Late 90s. Okay, so
Yeah.
something I would have watched.
Probably not.
Really? You really think that?
I don't know. Just I'll give you two more guesses. And I'll say.
I have no idea, to be honest with
Okay.
you.
I've got like
Would have been something I would have watched.
I don't know. Do you like comedy that are also musicals?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit? Okay. Okay, I'll give you a guess, Matt. I'll give you a guess.
Right. Would it be like, but it just got picked up by Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago did it get picked up by Disney? Was it a while ago?
I would say it's a while ago, yeah.
Okay.
You too.
Go with the idea of
Okay.
It's like part musical, right?
yeah.
It's a musical. It's a it's a bit of a comedy.
Is it like The Brave Little Toaster?
No. Although I love that movie.
That was a pretty good movie. I've only seen that like twice.
Movie, but that's not a. Was that a musical?
I think it had a little bit of music in it.
Yeah, most animated movies had a lot of music.
Yeah. Like that's like the same could be said about like the Aristocrats and stuff. Like the Aristocats and stuff.
But everybody wants to be a cat.
Right.
Everybody wants to be a cat.
All right. Okay. Do you give up?
Yeah.
Okay. Anastasia.
Ooh, that is a good film. I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
That film. I wore out that VHS so much.
I remember watching that. Yeah, I remember watching that. That's like that one. That's like that one Disney princess film that you wish was a Disney princess film.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like literally a real Disney princess.
That is literally the best princess film I think that's ever been made.
It's
really
so good. And after I watched it like 15 times, I actually like went into the library and like, did Anastasia even really exist? Did I learn she actually was? I was like, oh.
Yeah, then you realize how bad her family had it.
Yeah, it was like, I learned more about Peter Romanoff. I'm like, I still love the movie. That was
a good movie. Actually,
I
missed that film.
I can just every time I think about Anastasia, I just think of Once Upon a December. That whole scene replays in my head. I love that scene so much, where all the phantoms come out of the windows and they start dancing. Like, I got chills when I first saw it, and I'm like,
dude, I could have got. So that could have been where you ended up with the violence.
Huh?
Is that where you got the idea for the D&D violence song?
Yes, the songs. Yes.
Nice.
All right. Matt's.
We're gonna keep to a comedy theory.
It's a comedy?
Yeah, we're gonna keep to it.
Okay. Is it something newer or older?
Older.
Does it have Robin Williams in it? No. How both of you like comedy films and none of you like anything with Robin Williams in it?
Because there's so many Robin Williams films. It's just like he's there.
Personally, my number if it was a comedy film for me, it would be just Robin Williams himself.
Just Robin Williams. I mean, I just finished watching Jumanji with Robin Williams.
Yeah, that was a good film. I miss him so much.
But don't get me wrong, Robin Williams and Jumanji was on point.
Yeah.
He really fought for those kids because when you read the working conditions about that, he really fought for those kids.
Wow.
Older comedy film.
Older comedy.
Is it any of the Abbott and Costello films?
How old is it?
Yeah, how old is it?
Huh?
It's in color.
It's in
It's
color.
in color. Okay.
That certainly lines it up there, bro.
Um.
Is it Ted?
No.
Because I actually really like that film too.
I haven't watched it though. I haven't watched
Oh, you got to, man. It's funny.
it. Okay. If it's in color, but it's an older, is it a '90s film?
I gotta look up to see when it was made,
Okay.
when that movie came out. God.
I had to do that Anastasia when it was like, is it a Disney film? Like, I was like,
It recently did.
it was made by Fox Pictures, but it did get picked
Yeah.
up by Disney, so they can play it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It
And they
came
just
out in the 70s.
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 God, I wasn't even old. I wasn't even born yet.
You weren't old yet? Exactly.
Yeah, I have a sister, so I see most '70s comedies through her.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
That's,
I probably
wow, that's even better.
once he probably like tells us, I'll probably know.
Is it? I don't think was that. Did that come in the '70s? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't think that was '70s.
Yeah, no, that was 80s.
'80s. Okay.
Yeah, because it was in Ready Player One, and they do pop culture from the 80s.
Gotcha.
It's in Ready Player One, though, as a reference.
Oh, it does. Okay, so hold on. I know
It
that book.
does have a reference in there.
I do like that. That
In the movie, it
Animal-
was.
Okay. So it was in the movie. Okay, so it's not Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Is it Animal House?
No.
Okay. Is it It has a reference in Ready Player One. It's a comedy. Which scene? Do you remember?
What do you mean? Oh, God, no.
Okay. I don't know.
No.
I normally really like. I've watched Ready Player One like a lot, but I haven't.
I'll give you a quote from it.
Okay.
Mongo only pawn in Game of Life.
Mongo only pawn in Game of Life.
I think I watched that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What is it?
Another quote.
Say what?
What?
I'll give you another quote.
Oh, he's gonna give us another quote.
Oh, okay.
Women hat.
I'm trying to think of like scenes from Ready Player One.
I haven't seen the full thing. Ready
Now,
Player.
in Ready Player One, you saw a reference to it, but you did not hear anything from
Okay,
it.
so I saw a reference, but I didn't hear a reference. So
Right.
Is it the freaking DeLorean?
No.
that's not really considered a comedy. It's considered sci-fi.
Yeah. I still find it.
I don't. It's not when he was racing, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know at all. What is it, Matt?
Blazing Saddles.
Oh my god.
Blazing Saddles.
Yes, that's a great film. I love that film so much. There's only one reason why I would say it's not a good film. We all know the reason why. But that's a good film. Yeah, it's a very good film.
Racism?
Huh?
Racism?
Well, that and they actively say the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never watched it, I don't think.
Oh man, you should. It's a great film. Gene Wilder at his best.
Literally, it says, "Are we awake? I don't know. Are we black?"
All right.
So, hysterical, but that's one of those. It's one of those films that, no matter what generation, I think would still laugh at.
Yeah. That and Young Frankenstein are
Oh
his best
God,
work. Are
he
his
has
best
some
works.
phenomenal stuff.
Yeah. It's sad that he's passed away too, because he's a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's my number 4? Guess.
Okay. Is it sci-fi?
No. I'll give you a hint. It is of the horror genre.
Okay, that's horror. Is it old horror?
It is not. It's new age, so
New
1970s and up.
70s and up
I think it's.
horror.
I think it's 1970s.
Is it supernatural horror?
Yes.
Hmm. Hellraiser?
No, I have never seen that
That is
film.
a
And
phenomenal series.
no, I have never seen that film, and I don't plan to.
What?
So on the high note, just to cut that off, that is my next choice. Just putting it out there.
Hellraiser?
The
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser series is my next. So you guys luck out there.
Mm.
I grew up watching them.
Actually, I just thought of this. It's actually after the 2000s, so it's newer.
After 2000?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's after 2000.
After 2000 horror.
Supernatural horror.
Supernatural horror after 2000. There's just a lot of stuff that happened during 2000.
Yeah, actually it is.
Oh.
Doesn't really narrow it down.
Yeah. All right, I give up.
2000s is when the supernatural stuff really started to go through.
Yeah.
Paranormal activity, all that kind
It
of stuff.
blew up there. Yeah.
Actually, I think that's what really did it. So my number 4 is actually The Conjuring. I
I
really
can see
like
that. That's a pretty good movie.
That's a
Yeah.
good film. That's a great
Yeah.
film. Vera Farmiga.
And
did
it's a true story. It's a true
based
story.
off a true story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the Conjuring films are actually based off a true story.
Yeah. I went through a hard kick just watching like the Discovery series The Haunting.
Yeah.
And then Paranormal State
Yeah.
on A&E. Yeah. And I think they actually had Miss Warren up there as a guest star when they were investigating a house.
Yeah, she's Ed and Lorraine Warren are the leading paranormal parapsychologists before they passed.
Yeah.
And knowing that Ed was actually a trained exorcist, that kind of like made it like really hit home. But so if the viewers have watched Annabelle or the one with Annabelle, yeah, she doesn't look like that. She's actually a Raggedy Ann doll. And it's
Okay.
and thankfully she doesn't look like that, but she's still locked up in her box, like in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. Like, so I am actually a believer of the paranormal sciences. So
Yeah.
aliens, all that kind of stuff. I believe that kind of stuff. But I mean, your energy's got to go somewhere,
Right.
even if your body's just matter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a believer of spiritual encounters. My when my grandmother died, my mother said like literally the day after her funeral, she was alone, asleep in bed. I think I was asleep at the time, and she was just crying because she just lost her grandma, lost her mother, and she felt a pressure at the foot of her bed, and just a comforting presence.
Yeah.
And so
there's a story for me. I grew up in a house that was made in the like 1800s, something like that, and it was moved from its original location up to where it was where I lived in it. And I swear, whenever my parents were out of the house and I was home alone because I was a little older at the time when we moved, I could hear footprints or footsteps in the attic. And when my uncle actually got the property after us, he completely redid the basement, and the dogs were afraid to go into the basement because they were just afraid. And sometimes they would just hear like doors closing and things being thrown around in the basement. So whatever they did, they made it mad.
Hmm.
Yeah, but with an old house like that, you kind of expect that.
Yeah.
Well, ironically, we bought it off of an old lady. But oh, yeah. So that's my number 4. The Conjuring is my favorite. Is my 4th favorite film. All right.
What's your genre?
Yeah. What's your genre, Dante?
My genre? Okay. Let's see. Sci-fi.
Back to the Future.
No. Although that was a very good movie.
Year. What year was it made?
Oof, I should look that up. I would say this. It is a Stephen King film.
Oh, Stephen King sci-fi. Okay.
Filmed in
Stephen
the
King.
80s.
Stephen King sci-fi.
They count. What's the one? Rosebud.
Rose Red?
Rose Red?
No.
That's more of a horror. That's about vampires.
Rose Red? No. What do you say?
Shining.
Oh,
Shining?
The Shining?
No.
No, that's a horror film. That's a
That's
suspense.
another horror film.
Yeah.
It's one of his lesser known ones.
The Langoliers?
No.
Stephen King sci. It's not Christine, is it?
No. Although I do like Christine.
Yeah, see, Christine was pretty good.
I was like, would I want a car like that? I don't want to killing people.
Ironically, that's my mom's name, so was trying not to bring that up. I don't know. I don't know any Stephen King sci-fi films other than maybe The Dark Tower.
Okay. No. Firestarter.
Firestarter. That's an interesting one because that was Drew Barrymore, one of Drew Barrymore's first roles.
One of our very first films. Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that too. I just completely forgot that was considered a sci-fi
film. Not many people have watched that film, and every time I say it, it's like, is that a Stephen King movie? It's like, yes.
Yeah, I completely forgot it was Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think like maybe the Mist or like something like that. It has a kind of sci-fi genre with the the Lovecraftian monsters, but no, it's
Firestarter is sci-fi because of her powers.
Yeah.
She's the offspring of 2 psychics. One is considered. I consider he's like a reverse psychic. He pushes thoughts into your head to make you do stuff. Her mother was just a normal psychic. She could hear thoughts, and her power was pyrokinesis, and it developed in her at a very young age. And a little girl with pyrokinesis is a very dangerous thing.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes. If your daughter wants some candy, and you say no to her,
she's gonna light your ass on fire.
Yeah, be prepared to have something set on fire.
Get lit on fire a few times. I'm good.
And
all right. Yeah, I completely forgot that was a Stephen King film. God.
Yeah, I did too.
When was that made?
1984.
1984. Ironically, one of my also favorite books. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. That was after E.T., wasn't it?
You can't call that one of your favorite books if you forgot it was a movie. Like if it was one of his movies.
I did say it was a favorite books. No, I completely forgot that it was a film. I know of the book. I haven't read the book, but I did say it was a favorite book, but I haven't read it.
Yeah.
So that's an apology on my part. Look at me being a hypocrite. God, Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
that
was.
was
I think it was
also
after
a
ET.
family movie. All me and my sister and mom would sit down and watch that movie together, and you're just like, yeah, just burn everything down. Just burn it all down.
Like that was my response while watching like Arachnophobia.
Oh,
Just burn the whole town. Just burn the whole town down.
just
We're
burn
done.
it down. Just light it all on
The town's
fire.
at a loss. We're done.
Yeah.
Burn the town.
No, for
I actually watched
Spider, that one.
Arachnophobia too, and I'm just like, my mom was like, I can't watch this anymore. I just can't. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, Mom's a spider. Just squash
What's
it.
worse? What's the funny part is the spider that they used was a brown recluse.
Brown recluse,
Yeah.
which are native here. Yep.
Yeah, which are.
The funny thing
yeah.
is that what it actually would cause is nowhere close to what it
Yeah,
was
no,
doing
it-
to the people.
No.
Yeah.
And realistically, a giant spider like that cannot actually happen in real life because they can only grow 12 inches.
12 inches.
Yeah, because if it's anything more than that, their exoskeleton will be too heavy and crush their insides.
Oh. Well,
Ironically, I hate spiders, but I know spider facts.
you know spider fat, so you can avoid the crap out of them.
Yeah, realistically. Hey, I know what a Black Widow looks like. I don't need to see what
Basically, it's like know thy enemy.
know thy enemy. Yeah. All right, so we know.
I know I
Matt's
got
number
yelled
4.
at for lighting part of Walmart on fire for Black Widow.
Yeah, that's it. I remember. I didn't tell you guys this. One time when I was working at my other job, a snake got into our facility and into our actual department. And guess who found the snake? And guess what it was?
What was it?
It was a cottonmouth.
Oh my.
Yeah. I didn't know that there was a cottonmouth inside until somebody said, "Hey, be careful, there's a snake." I said, "You mean that snake?" I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm just afraid of being bit by a snake.
That's
The
the difference. You
photos
just like
of me and the wife at vacation. What was at our freaking front door?
I mean, I remember we Matt, when we took your two dogs out to the park to walk them around, and then we found on the side of that river. What was it?
Most likely a cottonmouth.
Probably
No,
yeah.
it was the water moccasin.
Water moccasin, yeah.
Yeah, water moccasin. Those are common.
And we had to warn everyone because there were kids nearby too. You're like,
And of course, I couldn't get a hold of a stick.
Yeah.
To save my life anywhere near the waterfront.
You're telling the family like, no, get away! There's a water moccasin, and then we're just like, they're coming over to look at it. I'm like,
no, stop it! You're not supposed to come near.
Yeah, just looking at
these things get aggravated very easily.
Yeah, they do. I remember I remember telling this story before, but I'm a certified scuba diver, and when I was doing my certification, we had to go into this small little hole that was like 40 feet deep called Catfish Hole, and that's where the catfish like to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tunnel underneath where from the river where the catfish like to hang out. And we were on our way down the hole, and we just see something slither out. And that was a water moccasin. And I was like, should we come back? No, they're more afraid of us than we are of them. I was like, okay, whatever.
You sure about that?
Actually, they like maybe all we saw was one, and it just left us alone.
I still think we can enter James into the Olympics.
Yeah.
Just toss a snake behind him.
Just toss a snake.
Doesn't even have to be real.
Run. All right, so we know Matt's number 4, but pick another number 4.
All right. Seeing you guys would have guessed my number 4 for Hellraiser. Let's see. Man, I'd have to go with. See, but I love I used to watch so many horror movies. I grew up watching horror movies. Alright, we're gonna go old school. We're gonna go musical.
Okay.
Old school musical. Is it Phantom of the Opera?
No.
I really like that film too.
Yeah, I actually watched a play.
Yeah, I did too. It
Yeah.
was good. It was really good.
Now, when I mean
Um,
old musical, I mean it is in black and white,
yeah.
Oh, black and white. Okay.
Yeah,
right?
there was.
And has yet to be remade.
I was thinking
Hmm.
okay, so yet to be remade. It's not Cats.
Black and white musical yet to be remade.
I don't know. I don't know any old musicals.
Me neither.
What is it, Matt?
Oklahoma.
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 That's a good one. Yeah, I can
I've
see
never
that.
seen it.
Watching that with my dad. For some odd reason, we used to end up watching like old school musicals. But
Mhm.
as Mike could probably test, he's been over to the house a few times when Dad watches the old movies and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's
I
like,
like the old
oh,
movies.
dude, that's all Dad watches.
Yeah,
Like Dad's number one movie, he has two movies that he'll go back and forth and watch like 1,000 times. Baby's Day Out,
I love Baby's Day Out.
right? And his other favorite movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
The
old one?
original?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good one. Oklahoma's pretty good. I
Like he'll
personally
be
like.
watching something, see it, and then like change the channel.
Same thing.
And I'm like, I'm watching this now. It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
that's usually how I am too.
I'll watch like 3 movies at once. I'm like, oh, are you even trying to pay attention? I watched them before. It's fine. Watch something new.
All right, so what's okay? The last one for each of us, number 5.
Okay.
You won't get this one. I know you won't get this one.
What genre?
Trying to think. I want to say, what is this considered? Sci-fi? Yeah, it's a sci-fi film. It's a sci-fi film.
Baywatch.
Okay.
Did you just say Baywatch? No, I've never watched Baywatch. I don't want to.
It's the slow motion running.
Oh yeah, that's sci-fi, all right.
So-
No, it's considered like one of the best sci-fi films ever made, though.
Okay.
You want a year? Do you want a year? I'll give you the
Sure.
year.
Okay.
1985.
Sci-fi 1985.
At least I think it was 85.
I have no clue. I don't want to look it up, but I have no clue.
Is
Go
it Back
ahead.
to the Future?
No, it's not Back to the Future.
Can you
Was
give
that
us
an
a
85?
quote?
Was it? I'm going to right now. What was that? Was that a 1985 film?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is gonna be so. It's gonna be so giving. If you don't get this, then you probably haven't seen it. Replicants are like any other machine, are either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, it's not my problem. There's only 2 movies that I know or that have replicants in the actual movie. Something being called replicant. If you want another quote, I'll give it to you.
Replicant. Oh.
Mimic.
What?
Mimic?
No.
Okay.
I'll give you another quote.
Okay.
I've seen things you won't believe that people you wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watch sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All these moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain.
Oh my god, I know that quote, but I forgot the movie. I hate that. I know the quote, but I forgot the movie. I probably watched it too.
Oh, you probably have watched it.
I don't know it. I don't know
I
that quote.
just go ahead.
This movie is Blade Runner.
Yeah. Watched
Blade
it.
Runner, 1985, written by or directed by Ridley Scott, the original director of Alien. Also, a famous book that was called "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?" that was written by Philip K. Dick. Also, he wrote "The Man in the High Castle," which is now an Amazon exclusive show. Go watch that; it's actually pretty good too. The only thing that changed in between the book and the movie, that because I've actually never read the book, but the most notable change is that he never uses the word Blade Runner. There's no
Really?
Blade Runner. There's no Blade Runner in the book. He's
Huh.
not
Yeah, I
called.
don't think they ever used the actual phrase Blade
Yeah,
Runner.
he's not a Blade Runner. He's just a cop who hunts androids who went rogue. Also, it was Harrison Ford's like second major role as Richard Decker.
Huh.
Great film, a ton of great symbolism. Uh, even the sequel was pretty good. I actually really like that one too. That was Blade Runner 2047. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it was a great
Yeah.
film. Dave Bautista was in it for like 10 seconds. I'm serious. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, so that's my
That's why I said it was good.
yeah, it was good. I actually really liked it. It slightly beat out Godzilla King of Monsters, I think, in the overall spectrum.
Oh.
King of Monsters was pretty good. I actually that one's really good. I actually wanted to watch that again, but we went out to do something. I completely forgot to start it back up.
Mm.
I'll probably do that tomorrow. All right. So that's my that's my top 5. So to reiterate, Aliens, The Godfather, The Conjuring was my top number 4. What was my number 3 again? Oh, Schindler's List.
Yeah.
And then Blade Runner was my number 5.
Yeah.
All right. Dante.
Okay. My
I'm
fifth
trying
one.
I'm trying to think. Action. It's an action film. That's what I'm thinking.
It's-
Is it Die Hard?
no, it's not Die Hard.
Oh,
Good take.
come on to the coast, have a couple drinks, have a few laughs.
It's an action film, but it's not Die Hard. No,
Would I have seen this?
probably. Yeah.
Taken?
No, it's. I want to say it's mid '90s.
Mid 90s. Okay.
But it is action.
Yes, it is. It is action.
Die Hard 2.
No, none of the Die Hards.
Die
I
Hard
didn't
with a
get-
Vengeance.
I didn't get into any of the Die Hards until I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
My mom was like, "Watch this Die Hard movie." I was like, "No."
So mid 90s action film.
Yes.
Can I ask the actor? Is it like one of those actors that like he only does action films?
It's one of the actors that you if I told you, it would give it away.
Oh, okay. So it's not Liam Neeson. It's not Bruce Willis. Is it Tom Cruise?
No.
Tom Cruise film. Okay.
No.
Wolverine.
Is
No.
it, yeah. Is it Hugh Jackman?
No.
Okay, so it's not Swordfish.
No.
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds? No, he said mid 90s.
Mid
Oh,
'90s.
I don't know.
Ryan Reynolds didn't really pop up until like early 2000s with Van Wilder. So mid '90s action film star. It's not Liam Neeson. It's not. It's not Owen Wilson because he's not really an action guy. Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
Is it Keanu? Is it Keanu Reeves?
No. You know
Okay,
what?
so it's not The Matrix.
I
I've actually never seen The Matrix.
have to, let me get it.
I have to watch that. I don't know. Tell us.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
The movie.
Love it.
Okay, I've seen that film. I remember that film. I never thought it would have been that, but okay.
I told you it's all childhood films.
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
That's true.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. When I first watched that movie, I was on the whole Power Rangers bandwagon.
So was I.
When Halloween as the Red Ranger,
I was the Blue Ranger.
the Blue Ranger. I
was
wanted to
the
be the
Blue
Black Ranger, but they were sold out.
Oh, that sucks.
So I'm like,
I wanted to be a Power Ranger for Halloween.
Green Ranger was the best, really.
yeah,
Green
everyone
Ranger
loved the
was-
Green Ranger. But yes, Power Ranger, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
All right.
The
so that's
original
your-
movie with Ivan Ooze as the villain.
I forgot about that. I completely forgot. The new remake was actually not all that bad.
Yeah, I watched it. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, actually pretty.
It was
I
like
thought
it was.
pretty good.
It was kind of like they tried to make it more serious.
And more to date.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
but
they
all in
were-
all, it wasn't that bad.
I'm excited for the second one, to be honest.
The
with you.
second one, yeah, I want to see what they do with the second one.
Yeah,
but-
especially with them showing the Green Ranger's coat right at the end.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on.
Yeah. But
All
yes.
right. Okay, so to recap, your number one was
My number
Legend.
one.
Legend.
Oh God. Now I can't remember because I've been thinking so hard.
Yeah, your number one was Legend.
Number one was Legend.
Number two.
Number
okay,
two was.
I forgot already.
Huh?
I forgot already.
Yeah, I should have wrote them all down. My number one was Legend. My number two was. I know my number three was Anastasia. My number four was Firestarter. What was two? Oh, The Stand. That's what
Oh
it was.
yeah, The Stand. The one I thought was like, really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
number one, Legend. Number two,
Stand.
The Stand. Number three, Anastasia. Number four, Firestarter. Number five, Power Rangers the movie.
All right. So Matt, what is your last one? What is your number 5? Say what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you broke up right there.
yeah, you broke up.
Horror movies again.
Horror
Horror
movie?
movies. Slasher?
Yeah.
Halloween?
No.
Is it something that we probably would have seen?
Oh yeah.
Is it something that I've watched with you?
We've seen enough horror movies together. I'm pretty sure we've probably seen at least one of them.
It's not
And I'll go with
Prometheus.
the entire series.
Okay, so it's the
I just
I know
watched
what you did last summer.
No.
Final Destination.
No. Those were good though, but
Yeah.
It's a series. We got that.
Predator? That's a sci-fi film though.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi. It's not
yeah,
really.
I'd count that as a sci-fi more than horror.
It's not Halloween. Is it Nightmare on Elm Street?
No.
Friday the 13th?
No.
Child's Play.
Yes.
Okay.
Child's Play.
Hey, that's a point. That's a point for me. That's a point for
You
me.
gotta love Chucky. Come on. It's like one of the oldest movies that I used to watch along with a bunch of friends. Every year we had to do it. We had a movie marathon. It was one of our tops to go and watch. I still remember one of my friends, her mom thought it was a great idea when Spencer still sold the Chucky dolls
Oh God.
to go and buy a Chucky doll and put it on her bed
I'm Chucky.
after we were doing a Chucky marathon and leave it on her bed So we were done with the marathon, and then let her daughter go into her room and open the door and see a Chucky doll standing on her bed.
All right. So we've been going for 2 hours and 14 minutes, about to be 2:15. Real quick, animation films, favorite ones. Personally, I have not seen any of the Studio Ghibli ones, so unfortunately, that's unfortunately not for me.
Oh,
I have been told to
Okay,
watch them though.
we could do a marathon. We have the projector at the house.
Yeah,
We could do a giant movie night.
it's all on
Have the
HBO,
whole crew.
HBO Max too. So
We
yeah.
could have the whole crew over. We could do
yeah,
a giant movie day.
yeah, a giant movie day. So my personal favorite animation film, probably would be, ironically, Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale.
Really?
Yeah, I actually really like that one. It takes like the sci-fi of Sword Art Online, brings it into augmented reality, where it brings the monsters that they fought in SAO into augmented reality, and they fight them again, and then they get sucked back into SAO to finish the 100th floor. So it's something that they have no experience doing.
Yeah.
That just, I thought that was really cool. And yeah, I'll bring it over to Dante. What's your favorite animation film? Like other than Anastasia?
And then Anastasia. Okay. One that stuck with me. Akira.
Akira?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Haven't seen it? Oh,
No.
That's a good choice, though.
it's
Yeah,
such a good,
I've heard it was a good choice though. Like
yeah.
a good movie, a really good movie.
It's like you can sum up the entire movie with just 2 words. Kaneda Tetsuo. That's all you need to say. In like different emotions. That's the entire movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio is actually working to get that as a live action remake.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
But
he's
it's like
a huge fan of that film.
yeah. It's still like up in the air though. It's like still in limbo.
Yeah, but I think he said he's putting like over like $50 million into the budget.
Wow.
Yeah, so he wants it really bad.
Okay. So
Um,
I may not hate it.
Matt, what is your favorite animation film?
Say
And then we'll do favorite anime at the end, and then that's where we'll cut it off, and then we'll discuss what
animation.
we're gonna do. Yeah,
I'd have to
animation.
say. Um, I'd have to say it would be, as far as just appeal and overall, I would go with. I'd have to go and vote towards number 9.
Which one?
Number 9.
9.
9?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
not number.
9?
It's not number 9. It's just 9.
Is it
It's 9?
9? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one with the like
Yeah,
the
the
dog.
sock man.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's 9.
just because it took so much to go through. Like, don't get me wrong, the Nightmare Before Christmases were supposed to be phenomenal. Like, I really wish they did do the other holidays
Yeah,
like they
they're working
wanted.
on it. Yeah, they're working
And
on
I
it.
know they're looking at doing a Sally.
Yeah, they're working on the book. The book is the
The
Sally one.
books. Okay.
Yeah. Um, so from what I've been told is that Tim Burton wants to do another. Obviously, he wants to do another Nightmare. Which I think is a great idea because the movie was really good.
Yeah.
Actually, that would have been my number 1 animation film, but it's like one of those films where you have to watch it on like Halloween or Christmas.
Right.
I could watch SAO or Null Scale whenever because I actually really enjoyed that film.
Hmm.
But it's not like one of those ones where you just like you feel like you're in the mood, like
Right.
um. But it's like a tradition for me to watch
Oh
Nightmare.
yeah.
Okay, so favorite anime.
Mhm.
We're not gonna do a top 5. It's just your favorite
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah.
Dante, you'll go first.
Um, Gundam Wing.
Gundam Wing,
Hmm.
the original one.
Yes, the original Gundam Wing.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Um,
I know it's a mech one.
me. Huh?
I know it's a mech anime.
Yes, mecha, a huge mecha anime. started with the original Gundam, and then they progressed. I can never get the
What was
anthology
it? What
correct.
wasn't it? Wasn't it Mobile Suit Gundam Wing?
Yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam was the first one, and then they went up
Okay.
to, and I think Gundam Wing was when it actually came on Toonami. That was
Yeah,
probably the
I
only time
remember
I
that.
watched it.
I remember seeing that as like an ad, but I never watched it.
Yeah, I
There's
watched
so
Gundam
many
Wing.
Gundam movies now.
There's so many Gundams, and they're all good except freaking Gundam Seed. Never watch that. Please don't.
I actually remember watching Ready Player One and the Gundam, like the main Gundam that you see, like the
The
white,
original
blue.
Mobile Suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It shows up to
Yeah.
fight Mecha Godzilla. It's
Yeah.
actually really cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right,
Gundam
all right,
Wing. Yeah.
all right,
Right.
Matt.
So an anime,
Yeah, it could be
Mhm.
any. It could be any anime,
um,
even ones that adults usually watch.
uh,
Not that type though. Not that type. Not that type.
Don't go too deep.
Don't go too deep.
go down the rabbit hole. Sorry,
Don't know.
joking. I would have to say anime series. Um, I gotta go towards Soul Eater.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I haven't. I've watched like maybe one episode. I haven't really gotten into it. So when it comes to anime, I have a 5 episode, or actually with any show, I have a 5 episode policy. If I don't like it within 5 episodes, I'm not gonna watch it. That's probably why I stopped watching Westworld. I've watched the first episode. It was cool. I like the animation style. I do not like. I know that the people who did Soul Eater do Fire Force or the same
Fire
studio.
Force. Yep, and they
Yeah.
also worked on Fairy Tail, and they
Yeah.
also worked on so many others.
Ironically, I do not like Fire Force.
See,
I
I
do not like
haven't
it.
seen
like it.
Powerful.
I haven't I lost so much ground on it because it went off air and then it went back on air all of a sudden, and then it's like I missed so much. I have to get back into it.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's up to me.
It's up to you.
It's up to me, and you guys aren't gonna like my choice.
Okay.
Matt probably already knows which one it is. Ironically, he's the one who actually suggested it to me, and
Okay.
it's not Sao. Sao is good, but it's like probably like my number 2.
Okay.
He knows what it is though.
What
Come
is
on,
it?
let's hear it, Mike.
Okay, so I was asked.
He
at
starts
work.
getting red.
How embarrassing is it?
It's pretty embarrassing.
Just get red.
Is it?
So hold
Is
on.
Okay.
Let me explain. I was asked at work one time what my favorite anime is of all time, and I told him that right now, or at the time, it was Neon Genesis Evangelion, and it was.
Evangelion. Okay.
He asked me a year later, what is my top favorite anime, and the first time he asked me what my favorite anime was of the time, because I was watching Neon Genesis.
Yeah.
My top anime of all time is actually High School DxD.
High School Which one?
High School DxD.
School DxD. I thought we said we weren't jumping down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, we are now, baby.
That's a full-on swan dive, buddy.
That's a full-on swan dive. That's a
Is that
perfect 10 from the
life
judges.
movie? Is that a slice of life anime?
Hell no.
Okay. Then I probably haven't watched it because I don't. I try not to go down the rabbit hole too much.
It's a.
You work tomorrow, dog say?
Yes, I do.
I will bring. I think I have a manga for it. I'll bring you one of the manga. I just have to remember to keep it wrapped up.
Is it?
It's
very inappropriate.
It's very inappropriate. It's a very ecchi anime. But for some reason, the story is really good.
The story is really cool.
There's a lot of people who don't like it, and
it's the fan service. It really is.
It really is the fan service. But if you can get past that, the story is really good. And I know that we shouldn't be talking about this, but for me, it is my favorite anime. Next to High School of the Dead. Ironically, the fan service of that is actually not as bad as High School DxD. It actually is a pretty good anime, and we won't get the season 2 like we wanted to.
Well, they're still talking about they might
If they do that, it's gonna
be well out there.
the author of the original
Is not doing it.
anime. No, he's dead.
No, that's why I said he's not doing it.
Well, obviously, because he's dead. But I mean, I know that we shouldn't be talking about High School DxD because it is a very adult-oriented anime, and
I just looked it up and I'm like, it's
there
like the
is-
premise: a perverted high school student. I'm like, well, there it is.
yeah, but it is a very good anime. I personally enjoy it. It is a very good anime to me. If it's not that, it's probably Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah.
I mean, the classic. It's a classic. If we're being safe and being, we're recommending it to people who are not of age, it would be Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I'm looking at
like that's any better, really.
I'm looking at the manga shots. I'm like, one of them is just a.
Well, I mean,
Yep. It's fan service, dude. It's fan service.
It's
huge fan of service. Good lord.
No, I mean, Neon Genesis Evangelion though is like a mech anime that you fight that they fight monsters, but it's got a deeper meaning to it.
No, I'm talking about PTSD.
Well, no, I mean, I know that, but he was talking about Neon Genesis, and he's like, it's not much better. I said, yeah, it actually is much better. It's got a deeper meaning to it, and I haven't watched the movies yet. I know I gotta watch the movies. I know I don't need to watch, what is it, 1.0, because it's just a rehash of the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're supposed to be getting 3.3.3, which is the fourth film, which is weird. But
yeah, but I think they're all on Netflix now.
I believe they are all on Netflix because that's how I watched the original series.
But even with that, go on to favorite cartoon.
Oh God, favorite cartoon. I'm gonna have to bring it back to Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy Neutron is my favorite cartoon.
Favorite cartoon. God, do you know how many cartoons I've watched in my life?
Probably a lot.
I watch way too many.
Anybody that knows me, that is pretty much all I watch when I get home.
Ren and Stimpy.
That is awesome. But
yeah, I like Jimmy Neutron a whole lot. It's like one of them where you can be like, okay, I can watch this, and the movie's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like a snot egg. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll have to go old school and say Rugrats.
That's
nice.
A good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Good choice. Good
Rugrats.
choice.
Just a lovely feel-good show.
Yeah. And I also do like there are things that the kids talk about that they don't know and that we know.
Yeah.
Like
looking back on old episodes, the one with Chucky and his
Angelica.
his bug.
Oh yeah.
Melville. And it's like, that was the 5 stages of grief. I learned this when I was 7 years old. How did I not know this?
I also learned that with Rugrats that babies can be born premature. I didn't know that.
Oh, which one? Who?
With Rugrats. If you remember, there was a episode where Tommy was talking about the first time he met his mom, and he said that he was in a box, and she had to put on gloves. Oh yeah,
he was a premature baby.
Yeah, he was a premature baby.
Yeah.
Rugrats is also the creator is also a giant Doctor Who fan.
Yep.
So that's also there.
So what's your favorite one?
Come on, you should know this by now.
I don't know.
What's my Scooby-Doo? He's coming after you.
Oh, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo?
Oh,
yeah,
Scooby-Doo. Actually, at work today, I actually heard a kid in a cart watching What's New Scooby-Doo on a cell phone with his mom.
I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. The What's New Scooby-Doo is okay. Actually, no, I'm going to change my answer and say the original Scooby-Doo. The
Scooby Doo is
original
awesome.
Scooby Doo is literally the best cartoon ever made.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that, you can fight me.
Scooby Doo is all around. Like, it's still running.
That's basically
And
my weekend lineup.
it's like one of those things. Like, I don't care what age you are, Scooby Doo still plays,
Mm.
and you could pretty much watch it and not feel like you missed a beat.
Yeah.
Even the newer stuff, yeah, it's not the same. Like you have Scooby Doo Mystery Inc., and they're looking for magical triangle pieces that look like a pizza
Oh yeah, the planetary disc.
or something. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like,
Yeah, that Scooby Doo actually had like an overarching story, and then made no sense.
what?
Yeah, what was it?
If you
I
watched
think
it in order,
It-
it makes no sense. But
yeah,
overall, it's just one of those things. It's still a show that like makes you think. Like I always tried figuring out who the person was.
yeah.
And
I
that
mean,
also probably was one of those reasons why I love coming up with traps and stuff like that in like hands down. Yup.
Yeah. Planet
I have
Spirit disc.
I have my friend Corey actually bought me the entire Scooby Doo Funko line. So
Wow.
I have the entire Funko line, including this little haunted mansion that was from the original series.
Nice.
Because I am that much of a Scooby Doo fan. I have when I
That's
first
why
got
I was
it.
surprised when you said your cartoon favorite.
Yeah, because I forgot that
There's too many. You can't remember them all at
there's
once
a
on the
lot of I mean
spot.
there's a lot of them.
I mean, I remember like I would if I would change my answer. I would change it to Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry's good, and they're
See,
getting a
Tom and
movie
Jerry
this
is
year.
awesome.
Yeah, they're getting a
Yeah, I
movie
don't know
this
how
year.
I feel about that though.
The movie? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll bring it back to mainstream,
I don't
but
know.
then what it will turn into,
It'll-
I don't know.
So we've been going for about 2.5 hours. So I think it's actually time
We
to
should.
call it. Yeah, I think it's time to call it. Guys,
Yeah.
we should discuss about what we're going to be talking about next week.
Um,
And next week I want to bring it to the anime community.
Anime? Okay.
Because I think out of all three of us, I think we watched a butt ton.
Pretty sure out of all
anime.
of us, the whole group
Yeah.
watches a ton of it.
Yeah, and I think most of it is actually you because you see more anime than I have.
Me? What?
Yeah. Ironically, Matt was the first person to get me into anime. Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
lovely
well,
lady.
but then I I kind of slow down on watching anime a little bit, even
What
though
did
I want to watch more anime shows.
what did we talk about last week?
Last week, Pokemon.
Pokemon. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. And I actually titled the thing the Pokemon episode. All right. Yeah. So let's talk about anime next week. I think that would be a really good segment.
The next week's topic will be I was about to say Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anime.
Anime.
Awesome.
So
don't forget to follow us.
Yeah, don't
You
forget to
got
follow.
Coach Caboose TV. You got Duroc. And you have Other Path.
Yeah, it's
forget.
Duroc 50, Coach Caboose TV, and Other Path. Follow us on Twitch. You can even follow our YouTube channel, Dragon's Breath Forge. You can even follow
Facebook page.
Our Facebook page, Dragon's Breath Forge. And we'll be adding some stuff later on this week. And you can definitely hit us up if you have any suggestions about what we should talk about. But
forget later in the week you'll also have Caboose streaming some his Conquering of the World.
Oh, actually, I did want to talk about that because there has been an issue. So
are you not allowed to conquer the world anymore?
No, I'm gonna conquer the world, but so I went to play Total War Warhammer 2 last night to check on as another faction. Checked out my save, tried to load it up to try to like.
Oh no! It got corrupted.
Yeah, it got corrupted.
No.
And
how many hours did you lose?
About 2.5 from the beginning.
Oh.
So I have to restart. I think I'm gonna do a different faction though, because at the end of it, I started getting my butt whooped, and I know why, and it's because um the greenskins Grom the Paunch can only have goblins. Goblins suck. Well, he can have orcs, but they're more expensive. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
I think I talked about that. We have so this video, the Pokemon video is actually going to go up it's actually up now, and this video will be up tomorrow. So from now on, guys, whenever we have a live stream, it will be up the next day. Okay, so make sure that you talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your cats, talk to your dogs. Let them know. Follow our YouTube channel. Follow our Twitch, and you can actually go to our page if you like Twitch a lot better than YouTube. Follow our page. Especially the page wherever you get it from. Follow all of us. Actually, follow all of us.
Yeah.
It helps us a whole lot.
All of us. Don't forget, also Friday nights is our D&D night. We will either be playing a campaign or we will be talking about D&D stuff to help you out, or just to chit chat about D&D.
Also, I just now thought about this.
What?
I might actually have to be absent for next week because my parents are going out of town, and I will need to be out of my house to go watch their house. So I don't know how well the connection's going to be. So we might have to delay next week's episode. But if we do, we'll let you know. I'll go ahead and make a Facebook page in case we do.
We have
Either
a
way,
Facebook page. Just look out for our Facebook post.
yeah. Even if because I know that I'll have Saturday night and Sunday night off. To do whatever. So in case we want to do it a different day, we can. Or we can just record it and just put it on Dragon's Breath, which is not that big a deal. But okay, this is gonna be us. This is signing off. Coach Caboose TV. Make sure you go ahead and give me a follow if you can.
Give me a follow. Keep adventuring.
Later.
That you were supposed to say Duroc 50 signing off.
Oh, follow me.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys.
Follow me, Duroc 50.
All right, guys. We hope you have a great night.